Cloudcast Media.
Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and we are very happy to have in the studio today our friends from Poets Underground Press, Sunny Rey, Azzarito. She is the co-owner with her husband, Anthony, and we are going to find out all about these folk, joined by my co-host, Kristen Fogel. She is the executive director of San Diego Writers, Inc., celebrating their 20th anniversary this year in Liberty Station. I'll start with you, Sunny Rey, and then Anthony, just jump on in. What's the mission of your organization?
So our mission statement is we are here to create and foster healthy, inclusive communities through the arts.
Okay, so how did the word poets get in there?
Yeah. So, well, to start to the beginning of it all.
Yes, please.
So Anthony and I are both poets. I've been published with Garden Oak Press originally about 10 years ago. And Poets Underground started inside the Acid Vault, which is quite literally located downstairs underground. So it was a cool name, but we've come up with all these other beautiful reasons why Poets Underground still makes sense. But serving the community from an underground effort from the root of the mission and from searching to everyone's deepest needs is now how we're approaching it, since we're no longer just an open mic space. We're an LLC, a 501c3, and we've dropped our day jobs to commit fully to the cause.
So Anthony, how'd you guys meet?
Ooh, that's the best. That's the best beginning.
We're gonna get the Italian talking.
So back in 2019, when it was our second show of Poets Underground, we didn't meet yet. It was in the mysterious of the cosmos of what's going to happen, and there was a decision to be made. So I heard about Poets Underground opening up in what was the other one?
There was an Amplified in PB, but I was located in the East Village.
Yeah, so I went to the PB one, and I was like, hey, where's Poets Underground? They're like, what's going on? I was like, dang, I'm at the wrong one. And if I didn't make this decision, we would have never met. But I ended up going to the right one. It was the second show, and I saw Sunny up on stage doing her thing, and she started, she was cussing up a storm, and
as she does.
Yeah,
it's poetry, man.
It was like, whoa. And so we were friends first. We got into talking about poetry. I wanted to be published, and we just connected. And then we both became single about a year and a half later?
Deep into COVID, when the Upside Down threw everybody upside down.
It did.
And then, after we were no longer, she wasn't my boss. And then, we went into our relationship after that. And
congratulations.
Oh, I was starstruck right off the bat, poetry and this beautiful woman that was, it's weird to say, but just cussing, it was it. It was it for me. When she, you know what I mean? I just was like,
she's so real and so deep.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
I need that.
Absolutely.
I need that sort of profanity every day in my house.
Baby.
That's incredible. I don't think I knew that, because I went and headlined for you. I was trying to figure it out, 2019 or 2020.
19 before the shutdown.
Was it? I know it was on my anniversary. And I remember it was an insignificant one, because I was like, I'll just go do this thing and he'll watch me up on stage and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
You've come out twice. So you were also there the day of the relaunch of the opening when you were upstairs and we were doing a book signing.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
I do remember that. Yeah. Because Jane Mushnitz's came that day, and now she was like, I've never done things.
And
now
so like adorably clueless.
Everywhere. Yeah.
And now she's like Cher. She's so popular.
No,
and we're like, come on, girl.
she is headlining with everybody known to man. Yeah. Okay. So you started in 2019. And so did I gather that you came up with the name because of the location? Is that okay.
I mean, I thought it sounded dope.
It does.
Sounds a little dark and edgy, but it was quite literally poets gathering underground. So Poets Underground.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And you're not there anymore, right? Are you at Queen Bee's?
No, sadly, we lost our origin story and our origin location. So Amplified turned into Mod Bomb, and then Bomb Bomb didn't make it.
Yeah.
So last November they closed. Yeah, that Mod Bomb bombed. Okay. Hey, I'm so sorry, Aubrey. The artist that created the Acid Vault, man, she put her heart and soul into it. And really her entrepreneurship was something that just watching a young female do something and put it all on the line was really inspiring and encouraging for me. But yeah, so we pivoted to an online platform. We expanded really a lot in COVID. That's when our first book came out, because we had about 70 poets out of work or needing a dual income, right? We were all just so living in the suspension of it all, wondering where it was going to land and what we were going to need to do. So we created our first anthology where all poets had the opportunity to buy the book at cost, resell it, make a little money, and the craziness. And when it reopened, we were open for about another year inside the Acid Vault until Mod Bomb closed in November of last year. And Anthony and I took an intentional 3 months off to decide where we were going to reroute. We had a lot of options. We really intentionally didn't want to just have a party to have a party, but we wanted to go back and make sure we were expanding and serving the community with a good space. And the opportunity for Queen Bee's came up. So now our residency is at Queen Bee's. It's twice a month. That way we're not exerting ourselves with a weekly show, especially with all the contracts we have and the ways that we want to intentionally spend time in community. But our roots are in our outreach efforts of the open mic. That's where you really get an opportunity to come experience being invited and having this inclusive community and knowing what it's all about. And then we can expand from there. So,
as Sunny likes to say, the human experience or experiment of being in this space where there's so many different views, values, cultures, beliefs, moral standards, everything in one space. And for us to come into this overwhelming welcomeness when it comes to expressing themselves. And so there's going to be somebody that's talking about God and religion when there's a person next to him or her that are, atheist, and we're in the same spot. And then there's people that think that they can come up there and do and say whatever they want. And that's the beauty of it, because they can, so we can understand what they're going through, so they can feel welcome, and no matter what the light is, and that's what a lot of Poets Underground's about.
Right, we're chatting with Sunny Rey Azzarito and her husband Anthony Azzarito, Poets Underground Press. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest running community podcast, now in our 18th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union for 6 decades, continuing doing great things in San Diego County, joined by my co-host, Kristen Fogel. She's the executive director of San Diego Writers Inc. Kristen?
Yeah, so, I loved the old space, but I just, knowing kind of like Queen Bee's history, and it's been around so long, I just think it's like a perfect place for you guys. I wonder if we could pivot for a second. I want to go back to the publishing arm, because it started with the anthology, but then you're also publishing poets, right? Mm-hmm. So can you talk about why you decided to dip into that, and then how it kind of took those tentacles from there?
Yeah, for sure. So when I was published with Garden Oak Press,
which is Bill's publication,
Bill Harding, yeah. So I really enjoyed the opportunity to be able to work in a setting that wasn't self-publishing or, like a big-time publisher. And he offered the opportunity of what is a partnership publishing program. Mm-hmm. And with permission, we worked with Bill on the first anthology, the F Isolation, a tribute to the COVID experience. And Bill really showed me kind of the ropes of publishing and passed the baton and gave his blessing that we could go ahead and replicate the spirit of that partnership publishing program and create our own expression of it with Poets Underground. So what we have is an opportunity for poets to basically hire us at a one-time fee where we put everything together. We'll do your editing, your formatting. We'll get you on Amazon, in Barnes & Noble, and do your little photo shoots, a little landing page for you. And then you have a small business. So the same concept and spirit that started in COVID, the idea of, just packaging everything and giving the poets the opportunity to own their own the copyrights to their own work, and then expand it beyond that, and just get them started is how this came to be. But the thrilling part is being able to have somebody not have that barrier anymore. I know for me, I had written this entire book. I had like 17 notebooks worth of content and poetry, but it was so daunting to imagine editing it all. I didn't know how to format. Bigger publishers would, give you a 1% back in your return, which I didn't imagine I'd ever see a bit of income from. And then self-publishing it took the fun out of it, the art out of it, and wasn't ever going to get done. So this is our pitch to help people, finish the project, see the passion come to fruition, and get something packaged.
Well, it's a nice niche too, because even like the hybrid publishers now, I've seen their costs just like skyrocket, So even doing this hybrid thing, it's like tens of thousands of dollars to even go that route. And you're like, whoa, who's going to see that back either? So
yeah. And we're not here to create a barrier too.
Yeah.
So it is a reasonable price that we have. And beyond that, it's also customized. So if we're working with a poet that also happens to be an artist or has a best friend that's going to do their cover art, we're going to go ahead and knock off a huge chunk of that, right? So we just really charge for the hour. And then everything is up to them, how much they're going to make from it. And it's been something that's been profitable to me. So I would buy a ton of my books at cost, and it motivated me to get out into the community those 10 years that I was just pushing my own work. And it was a second source of income. So Anthony and I are also a blended household. Little background: I came with 2 kids, he came with 3, and when I was a single parent to 2. Selling my books was quite literally how I paid food. I mean, if it was around Christmas time, it's how I got gifts. I had to order those books, and I had to figure it out. That was my option. Even with working 2 full-time jobs in the day in the social work field, it just wasn't cutting it in San Diego. And just having that little bit of motivation completely changed my life. It gave me new friends and community, and put me in good situations. So I really hope to share that with others in our community.
Sorry, Drew.
Yeah. Well, when we come back from break, I want to continue the conversation you wanted to have here, but also we had Promises to Kids on right before Poets Underground Press, and it was like these guys were attached at the hip. So I want to chat with both you, Sunny, and Anthony about what the connection is with foster kids and all that business as well. That was quite a deal. When we return with Poets Underground Press, Sunny Rey and Azzarito. She is the co-owner with her husband, Anthony. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, with my co-host, Kristen Vogel of San Diego Writers, Inc. The show is brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. We will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and we are listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are now in our 18th year, the nation's longest-running community podcast, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union for 60-plus years, just doing good things for all of us folk who live in San Diego County. Honored to have in the studio with us today Sunny Rey Azzarito and Anthony Azzarito. They are the co-owners, chief cooks, and bottle washer for Poets Underground Press, joined by my co-host, Kristen Fogel of San Diego Writers, Inc. Kristen is the executive director celebrating their 20th anniversary. Can I get to my question first?
Okay, with that attitude, should we?
Ooh, attitude.
I
Beautiful. This is what I have to deal with all the time.
I suppose you
Sunny
could
Rey,
speak on your own show.
Anytime you and Anthony want to jump in instead of Kristen. No, Kristen's been a delight to have on. I just love it because she knows so many folks that come on the show like you guys. But I did want to get back into this. And Sunny Rey, you can start it off, and Anthony, talk about it. We had promises to kids on, and I was mentioning right before break, who for 40 years have been working in the foster youth space, and you guys like hit it off in 2 seconds. Talk about that, Sunny Rey. or Anthony, either one.
We hit it off with like everybody.
That's true.
No, but actually, so I was born into homelessness. That is part of my origin story.
Right.
I spent a few years in foster care, bouncing back between the foster home and what would be my adopted parents until it became official. So as that being part of my community and part of my language and story, it is definitely a big part of how we give back. I also spent almost 20 years in the social work field.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, we had a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Can't wait to listen to their podcast.
Yeah, no, it's great. Anthony, what are your thoughts on that?
I love that no matter what space that we step into, we make sure to make some type of connection because there is a reason that we came here. There's a reason why you do what you do for the people, the community, and I think that we share that same belief. So somewhere, some way, there is a connection that we need to provide, services for them. They provide for us. You know what I mean?
100%.
And it's fun. It's what we're here to do. We're, me and Sunny are blessed and have this gift of the gab and love to talk and express and heal with others that just need to be heard.
Well, I think what's interesting about this, and obviously, Kristen, her head spun around when she saw that you guys are going to be on the agenda, and they said, "Oh man, these guys are very cool," and all this.
Well,
business.
also I planned for them to be here, so I
it's fun because anywhere without.
But that didn't necessarily mean they were going to make the cut because
that's true. That's true.
Yes, right. When Kristen recommends, I got to go through FBI.
It's about 25% that I get in there, so that's true.
That's right. I'm just teasing, of course. Whatever Kristen recommends are on this. But you guys, there's a lot of people that have the gift of gab, as you were talking about, Anthony, but you guys are actually doing stuff.
Yeah.
And, I think that's really something that's important. Kristen and I, obviously, to you guys, it's one thing to talk about it, but it's actually, are there boots on the ground? Are we actually making an impact?
Spot on with that.
Yeah, without question. Kristen?
Yeah, these guys have a lot of impact. And I want to get into the Poetry Heals program, too, and the work that you've done in schools. So maybe, Anthony can speak to that.
Well, we started over in Innovations Academy, and
Thanks to Kristen.
Yeah, right.
You're literally 50% of our income.
Yay! I'm so glad. Wait, you're at Innovations?
That was last year. That was the inception.
I think I applied for my kid to go to school. Continue. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we started there with a little like Egypt, Mesopotamia, poetry event that we had with them. Then that turned into getting a contract with a high-tech high. And now we are there right now. We had a 4-week program where we described each 4 emotions and we expressed and described the emotion to them and how we would write a poem about it. And then they had an exhibition where every room was a different emotion.
Cool.
And then that turned into an anthology. So they've submitted poems. I think, what do we have, over 100?
Over 100.
Yeah, over 100 kids submitting a poem for the anthology, and we're publishing them. So they have a work of art. They have something that they can sell, that they can be a part of, that they have as ownership for before they leave high school.
Yeah.
I mean, they have something that they can go sell and put on a resume and on a college application, and they can say, "Hey, look, I'm actually a business owner. I have my work of art right here that I can sell because I'm published." And like Sunny was saying, we breaking down that barrier of the hardship of publishing when it comes to going in and getting their fair share of the profit from what they make. Now they can do it themselves.
Very cool. And you guys have plans for places that you're targeting or things in the works, or where's that at?
Yeah, so we also worked at Lincoln doing a publishing program there as well. It turned into a poetry heals program naturally, because if you're talking about how to write poetry, you first need to feel invited to the space.
Yeah.
And I think, I know that a lot of kids, adults, people, humans struggle with really feeling invited, struggle with imposter syndrome, struggle with the idea of being a burden, of taking up space, of the value of their word. We're getting so drowned out in the realization that the world is so big and there's so many issues, and where do I belong in the conversation? So the root of it is to first celebrate a person for just speaking at all. And once the confidence is gained there, you naturally open up into the Poetry Heals program before you can even begin to write the poem. You have to feel invited to the conversation, yeah. So, but through that, we did pivot into the publishing aspect of it, and we had the kids at Lincoln completely formatted, edited, and created the cover of their own book, and it was called The Lincoln Expression. It was so exciting to see just this little after-school program turn into a small business for them, especially for an underserved community that was hit so hard with the flood. It was a nice way to take their minds off of that, where their neighborhood was so impacted in real time that we were over there serving. I mean, at one point they were a space of refuge, right?
Yeah. There was.
Now, was this Lincoln in the Southeast? Mm-hmm. So did you work with Stephanie Brown?
We did not.
Okay, she's the principal there.
Yeah. We actually didn't get to meet her.
Yeah, she's very cool.
Yeah. We worked with United Way, and we were funded through the Paving Great Futures program.
Nice.
It was an after-school program, and it was really thrilling and an honor. It's actually near where I grew up, and it would have been the high school that I would have gone to had my parents not worked at a Catholic school and sent me away.
Yeah.
Kristen? You got a couple more minutes?
I know, we're like ahead of schedule
but
for
wait,
once.
Actually, another thing that we have in the works, and so we just got a 2-year contract. I think it was funded through the PrepSP Foundation for Kupanda. But
Common purpose, yeah.
I'm so sorry if I'm not saying that correctly.
No.
I love you guys. Please take one of our grant. Please help us. We need money. But Kupanda is an organization that reached out to us, and they serve refugee children. And so we're providing a 2-year program for them to not just learn poetry, but to express themselves, to gain confidence in the English language in public speaking, and also to have a small business to bring back to their families that are really hard to get into the community to begin with, right? Like the children are more involved, but the parents are often reluctant. So we're hoping that this will be a nice bridge to come out and feel that they too can have an opportunity of income of some sort on some level, but to feel more invited into the community. So we're really excited about it.
So let me ask you this: what two things? One, would love to have you come back on, to say the least, and maybe bring in some of the folks that have benefited from the stuff you've been doing.
Yeah, we can pack the room if you want.
We'll
we can throw in another open mic over there.
We can be.
No, they really do. Like I've been to events where they're like, "We're just popping up an open mic." They just do. So
consider it
don't open the door. Everybody will come in.
No. I want to open the door because to me, it's always good to say, "Hey, okay, that's great. We heard from these two cool cats, but now here's the folks that just go on and on. Consider that a done deal. Nice. That's going to happen. And two, I'll start with you on this, Anthony, and you jump in on it in the last couple of minutes here. What can our listeners do to support your efforts?
Well, they can go on to poetsundergroundpress.com and click the donate button. We have a video about exactly what we do, a little clip from KPBS where we were at High Tech High. You get a little brief overview of the Poetry Heals program, and then just show up to our events and see what the community is about. Get involved and be part of the movement. We like to say Poets Underground is a movement, and we are in the motion of change and healing through the arts, through poetry. And we're also hitting up the veterans too.
Oh yeah, Anthony has a new program.
Yeah, yay. I'm starting with a couple of professors from Miramar and a couple other veterans, a little branch from the Poetry Heals programs, targeting Targeting, that sounds kind of weird. I won't say targeting.
I know what you
Especially
mean.
PTSD.
Yeah.
We know exactly what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
active duty members and veterans, and healing are using poetry as a way of healing through, PTSD or anything like that.
Yeah, we work very closely with the military community in that vein. Sunny Rey, any final comments?
So along with a financial donation, please reach out if you are interested in what we do and want to just chat about how we can be involved in your particular community. We really don't have any limitations or bounds. We're here for connection and to us, the universal language of poetry and expression. So if you have a community that you're involved in, if you want to get into a community, we have one that wants to be involved with you. But reach out. Maybe we can come to your kid's school. We work in mental health facilities. We like to go out to jails. We go to churches. Man, we'll come anywhere and tell you all about how poetry has saved your life. So please reach out. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. Well, listen, Kristen, thank you so much for bringing these two wonderful folks on.
Now he gives you credit.
I know, right? Yeah, finally.
I really want to give a huge shout out actually to Kristen in particular, because literally half of our contracts have come from someone reaching out to Writers Inc. and her redirecting it to us and giving us such a nice vouch and opportunity or even opportunity today. Thank you as well, Drew, for what a huge feat. Like being the longest running, that's a big deal.
Well, it's only because I'm old. It has no skill set. Obviously, you've worked with me long enough to know on that aspect of it.
You're amazing.
Yeah. No, listen, and Anthony said it spot on, that there's so much opportunity to give back. Where you don't need to be Bill Gates money. We're not going to turn down Bill Gates money, of course, but in that vein, or whatever the case may be. And doing these types of things, you never know who you run into. Here, you and Promises to Kids. When you come back in with some of the folks that have benefited this, that's great. And you just continue doing these things, and there's nothing better than trying to elevate somebody's lives through promoting great stuff. So I'm very grateful to you folks coming in, and you, Kristen, for bringing them in.
Anytime.
Thank you so much.
You're very, very good. I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, the nation's longest-running community podcast, now in our 18th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union for 6 decades, doing great things in San Diego County. We hope you enjoyed the interview.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.